Ahoy hoy everybody, and welcome to the next in my series of videos where I listen to classic albums for the first time and react to them. Today we're listening to Hotel California by the Eagles. The Eagles are a band that have pretty much completely passed me by. I don't own a single track of theirs. I checked iTunes earlier and not even on any compilations do I own any tracks. Obviously, I know Hotel California. I also know New Kid in Town, and I think I know Life in the Fast Lane. As far as I'm aware, that's all the Eagles I know. I might know other odd tracks from other albums. But yeah, they're not a band that's ever, as I say, really been on my radar. The tracks that I do know, I like. I mean, you know, the title track is obviously a classic, and the other two are radio-friendly hits. So yeah, interested to give this a listen. So this is my copy, bought from Slice of Vinyl in Gosport. Unfortunately, having now done a bit of research, the lyrics to Hotel California were there, and a previous owner has nicely cut them out. So that's missing from my copy. But I do have the original inner sleeve. And the original poster. And this is a custom Warner Brothers label. And if I recall, is in played but good condition. You know, it's got light marks, but shouldn't be overly effective. But yeah, as I say, you know, not really much to say in advance of this one because I've not got any history with the band. It's not, you know, it's not a band I think I don't like. It's not a band that I, as I say, had any past experience with. So I'm going to cut this first bit relatively short here, listen to the album, and I'll see you in a second. Cheers. I'm underwhelmed. It's not really my sort of thing, to be honest. I'll go through it. It's, you know, there's some stuff I liked, and I'll summarise at the end my overall feelings. Started with the title track. It is a classic song. It is a great song. I really like Hotel California. I like the reggae tinge to it. The guitar throughout is great. And I like the way it sort of plays along under the vocal as well as the brilliant solo at the end. Hotel California, great song. New Kid in Town. Again, another song that I already knew, more of a country tinge to it, which I believe sort of goes back to their earlier albums, where their previous, I can't remember what his name was, but a previous member had left just before this album, and he sort of had the country tinge to his music, and so that's more or less gone from this album. But it's definitely there in New Kid in Town. I like the electric piano that Joe Walsh plays on it. Goes on a bit too long, and it is a bit, you know, safe and AOR-y, which is one of my biggest problems with the whole album. It's a good song. It's a song I always, you know, don't mind hearing on the radio, but it's not a great song in my opinion. Then we move on to Life in the Fast Lane, which I did know, and that is a great song. Guitar's brilliant throughout it. It's a bit ZZ Top-esque, that sort of boogie shuffle theme to it. But just a really good, strong song. Probably the highlight of the album for me, between that and the title track. Then side one ends with Wasted Time, which is just a slow piano-led ballad. But it's just a typical rock ballad, really, very formulaic. It's trying to be anthemic, but I don't think it quite hits it for me. The best thing about it is the strings, and when they come in, it perks the song up a bit. but it just left me feeling a bit. So overall, side one, 2 great tracks, 1 good track, and 1. Flipped it over, and you had a reprise of Wasted Time, which was just strings, and I much preferred this. I could listen to that over and over and over again quite happily. Just that string section was beautiful, really enjoyed that. But I did think it was a strange way to put it. Although it doesn't work with the theme of the album so much as what The Last Resort, which is the last track, I think in the modern day, that would be the last track on the CD, and it would fade out, and you'd get a couple of minutes of silence, and then the reprise would fade back in. And I think that would work better. It seemed strange, flipping the disc and then you get the string bit of the same song. If I presume there wasn't enough room to stick it on the end of side 1, but I think that would have worked better. Then we went on to Victim of Love, just pretty much a simple poppy, rocky song. Guitars were good again. It was alright. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. It was just alright. Then we went to Pretty Maids All in a Row, and I didn't like Joe Walsh's voice on this. It was a bit Kermity, particularly at the start. Otherwise, songs were right. It was a bit bland. Didn't do much again for me. Sort of the theme really for this whole second side. We went on to Try and Love Again, and we had the vocals of, I've forgotten, Randy, was it? Yeah, Randy Meisner, and he wrote this one as well. And I preferred his vocals to Joe Walsh's. It's a pleasant enough song. Again, guitar was good, but again, just nothing overly special. And then we ended with The Last Resort, which to me felt like it was trying to be a big, grand close to the album, but it never quite got there for me. The piano bit at the start was very slow, and it just went on and on and on. And eventually the orchestra came in. I thought, oh, now it's going to build up. But then that soon faded out again, and it went into an even slower piano bit, which was actually probably a bit better than the start piano bit. You could just hear the strings in the background, sort of the scraping of the strings, and it gave it a bit of atmosphere. And then it started to build again as the vocals came back in, and it was improving at the end, but it just didn't quite. If you see what I mean, it was, as I say, it was trying to be a big anthemic end, but for me, it just didn't grab it and go with it. So in the end, it was just nothing special. So yeah, as I say, underwhelmed. It's a very well produced album. It's possibly a bit overproduced. It's just didn't points. Vocals, particularly Don Henley's vocals, had a bit of soul to them, but overall, it just seemed, as I say, a bit overproduced. Everything was played to perfection. The musicianship is amazing. The drums are solid and everything, but the guitar work throughout, it was really good by all the players. I liked that, you had the different vocalists on different songs. It wasn't just the same vocalist all the way. That was a nice mix-up. I thought at the start it was going to be, constant changing of styles as we went from reggae to country to blues rock. But then it just got a bit samey towards the end. Either slow piano songs or just guitar-y pop songs, but nothing special. As I say, overall, I appreciate the craft of it, but it's not the sort of thing I like to listen to. American AOR rock, what's come to be known as yacht rock, although I think the creators of yacht rock argue that the Eagles aren't yacht rock for some reason. Yacht rock is a term that's suddenly sprung into my world in the last year or so. I'd never heard of it before. I mean, suddenly everybody was talking about yacht rock, and when I looked, it's basically what I've always called AOR, adult orientated rock, from the mid 70s to sort of mid 80s. That's like the Eagles, basically, and it's not really my sort of thing. You know, the English side to it, you know, groups like Dire Straits and to an extent Queen, although not 100%, but Queen would class as AOR, but I know Dire Straits are often lumped in with that. I love Dire Straits, you know, there's something about them that I really love, but I don't really find in the American side of it, which when we get onto Fleetwood Mac and Rumours, I'm sure we will explore further. But yeah, overall it just did very little for me, well, either. You know, I might stick it on from time to time, just sort of background music, and, you know, certainly the first 3 tracks of the first side are tracks I will happily listen to again and again and have heard many a time before. But yeah, overall, not my bag. So, do I think it's a classic album? No. I mean, obviously, you know, it is widely regarded. It's, you know, highly ranked. It's usually in the top 100 and often in the top 50. And I think I saw one where it was number 13, you know, 13th best album of all time, if you say so, but I can't see it personally. As I appreciate the craft behind it. And, you know, there's certainly 3 great songs on there. Well, 2 great songs and 1 strong song. But overall, not my bag. But yeah, you know, that's the joy of this. You know, I'm listening to albums and I may not like them, but at least I can give them a chance, and you never know. You know, I've so far I've been quite lucky with what I've listened to. But I've loved most of it, or really, you know, at least enjoyed and appreciated most of it. This is the first real, yeah, not for me album. But yeah, that's it. So, what else do I need to listen to? Give me your suggestions for classic albums that I can listen to. Obviously, if I've already heard it, I'll just say, already got that, already owned that, heard that hundreds of times. Doesn't matter. But I want classic albums that are regularly on classic album lists, not your favourite albums, but unless, you know, they are also on these lists, you know, but I don't want, you know, your favourite Oasis album, citing somebody who, I've got all Oasis's albums, so it doesn't matter anyway, but there's no point coming to me and saying, my favourite album is Standing on the Shoulders of Giants by Oasis. Firstly, I'd question your taste, and secondly, I'd say not a classic album. However, if you said, I think you should listen to What's the Story Morning Glory, I would say definitely a classic album, but I've heard it hundreds of times. You get the gist. Anyway, enough waffle. I'm trying to pad this out because I didn't have much to say about it, really. Certainly not in the first half. But yeah, please keep your comments coming and your suggestions. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks. Bye.